Welcome to Thursday, the 22nd day of February, 2024. Your Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Hot Springs County Travel and Tourism. Great weekend to head to Thermopolis, where you can always find yourself in hot water. Check them out at thermopolis.com. Well, folks, we do have a little bit of a break in the weather coming through Sunday. We're still going to have some unsettled weather in some areas, especially early today. Great shot here of some showers, and yes, we had thunderstorms yesterday along that thin stretch of moisture we've been showing you coming out of the Pacific through California along the I-80 corridor. We had some thunderstorms in portions of Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado yesterday afternoon through the evening hours, producing spring-like looking clouds, as we got a great shot there near Hillsdale east of Cheyenne. As we go through today, though, the Pacific system will move out. There will be portions of southern Wyoming and northern Colorado that will have some snow shower activity early in the day. But as that system moves out, it gets a little cooler. But generally speaking, from this afternoon through Friday, through the weekend, and for most of you out there, Monday is going to be still quite mild. Now, by Sunday night and Monday, the Pacific Northwest, Southwest Canada, Montana, Idaho, you're going to start to feel the effects of this change in the weather after a quiet weekend. Strong cold front is going to come out of the Gulf of Alaska. And what we're going to see is a major change in air masses. Understanding your weather really is highly dependent on where your air masses are coming from. This week, and really stretching back to this past weekend, we just had a lot of Pacific. We've had Pacific weather. But we're going to do a 180. We're going to see Gulf of Alaska weather come in for the first half of next week. So this will be a little bit of a shock to the system. Going to be much colder. There's a high probability of snowfall for many of you, especially in the Monday night through Wednesday morning time frame, as this is going to be a strong frontal system, not so much a low coming through, but rather just a big change in air mass. And when you do that, you're going to produce some precipitation. There's likely going to be significant mountain snow again. Also, at the end of the podcast, we'll give you a quick update on the El Nino pattern and show you how it's on the way out. It's weakening. It's still there, but it's showing chinks in the armor. Satellite photo this morning, you'll see the spinning low here off the coast of California. This system is just going to kind of sit out there through the rest of the week and the weekend. It will still throw the occasional chance of rain into the Pacific Northwest and the coastal areas. Here's sort of the last piece of weather. There's a little upper level low right here. This is what I talked about earlier. Some parts of southern Wyoming, northern Colorado, into western Nebraska, some morning snow shower activity possible. But you can see there's a gap here of not much weather. And this is the gap that's going to come into the region tomorrow and will last through the weekend. There's that upper level low we just showed you, that little piece coming on through. There's that low that's hanging off the coast. Generally speaking, though, it's still going to be a westerly flow from the Pacific, generally flooding the USA with very mild Pacific air. That'll be the case through the weekend and probably through Monday. This is for Saturday. That low just kind of gets detached a little bit from the main jet stream and just sits off the coast. High pressure builds over the desert Southwest and Rockies. However, for those of you who have a keen eye, you see how tightly packed those black lines are together. There's that strong jet stream wind we've been watching. It's beginning to come through the Aleutians, south of Alaska there into northwest British Columbia. What this is going to do, this area of low pressure here is going to consolidate and form a kink in the jet stream as we get to the end of the weekend. So, good weekend coming up. Going to be a little windy. Strong winds are going to be parallel to the divide, so that's going to make it a little windy, but all in all, for February, it's going to be a pretty decent weekend. So, going back to those Pacific jet stream winds. So, here's the western United States. Here's Japan. Here are these strong Pacific jet stream winds cutting across the Aleutians. This is for Saturday afternoon. We also continue to have a very active southern branch of the jet stream helping to feed moisture. So there's a lot cooking in the kitchen here out in the Pacific. By Tuesday morning, we see that shift. That weather comes out of the Aleutians, and there's another one queued up behind it, comes through. This is going to be a strong frontal boundary. As we mentioned yesterday, this is really the first time this winter we've seen a moist Gulf of Alaska air mass get swept through Western Canada and the Rockies and the Pacific Northwest. Notice it's a strong front that will go all the way through the desert states. So this is going to bring a big air mass change, as we showed you yesterday, coming on in. And boy, can you see the difference? This is by Tuesday morning. These are the temperature anomalies. Ahead of the trough, very mild Pacific air will bring very warm relative to seasonal values, well above average temperatures for a large part of the U.S., from Mexico through the Great Lakes up into eastern Canada. But you see the purple? Purple means temperature anomalies more than 30 degrees. You're talking sub-zero temperatures up there by Tuesday morning. And you can see by Tuesday morning, the front's through Gillette, headed to Rapid City, gets hung up on the Yellowstone Plateau, but is already pushing through Northern California. This is what it looks like by Tuesday afternoon. The cold front's headed to Denver by Tuesday afternoon, pushing out across the Dakotas, but you can see all the purple and the green there. This will be a major shift, So temperatures are going to really go the other way very, very quickly. So livestock interest and travelers, Monday, late Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, be ready for a change. By Wednesday morning, that frontal boundary pushes across into the plains, all the way down into the panhandle. And with that will be the possibility for temperatures a whole lot colder than what we've gotten used to. See all that gray? This is by Wednesday morning of next week. Gray shows temperatures possibly below zero. Lots of single digits and teens. So enjoy the mild temperatures. Look back into California. Look at these temperatures into the Central Valley. Look at temperatures in Arizona, New Mexico. Look at temperatures down here. So it's the real deal, just kind of preparing you for the change, because we've kind of gotten used to this mild weather here recently. Going to be a nice shot of precipitation with this front. This is the precipitation from Monday through Friday of next week. So you can see heavy snow, needed snow in the mountains of northern Idaho and northwest Montana. But look at this, down into New Mexico and Arizona. You Arizona, New Mexico people, you're going to get back into some rain and snow again, southern Utah and southwest Colorado as well. There's going to be more snow out here on the plains than it's showing, I think, when we put it all together. And this is the Monday through Friday time frame of next week. Again, I think we'll be looking at more snowfall than it's showing once we see that cold front spread out across the plains. But certainly you can see all the pink coming into the mountain ranges, and that's going to continue to help boost the snowpack. Looking out further, that wave is gone. This is by next Saturday. Okay, by next Saturday, that wave's gone. It is likely going to be a major weather maker up here later into the time frame of next week. But we're going to be watching this guy. We continue to see strong, energetic Pacific jet stream winds coming in. Now, there's a lot of disagreement past 10 days on the computer modeling, which is to be expected. However, if we see this is the European model, if we see this wave come in of this magnitude and strength, buoyed by a very strong jet stream wind cutting across the Sierras here, this is likely to induce, if it heads that way, some type of what we call a lee side low. A low forming in somewhere over the plains of eastern Colorado or western Kansas or the Oklahoma, Texas panhandle areas. Still don't know if that'll happen or not, so we'll put a question mark on it, but that is a pattern historically that we're seeing, especially in early March, that could be a weather maker around the 4th, 5th, 6th of March, something that we'll continue to monitor. A quick El Nino update. Here are the sea surface temperature anomalies along the equator. You can see the orange, so they're still warm. El Nino is still there, but we're seeing some cooling beginning to boil up right here just off the coast of South America. And so it's still there, but it's showing chinks in its armor, and we can see that. The upper ocean heat content from 180 to 100 degrees west. So 160 degrees west is about Hawaii. So as you go across the Pacific Ocean where we really track El Nino, you can see we started to see those warmer sea surface temperatures start in March of last year. Well, it lasted 11 months. You see the little blue patch here? Doesn't mean El Nino's done, but the heat content of the upper layers of the ocean has started to erode, and it's really showable here in this animated graphic. This is depth. Okay, so here's the top of the water. Here's the depth of the water down to 450 meters below the ocean surface. What you can notice here is that at the beginning of the graphic, you can see the warmth highlighted by the orange and the darker red colors there. You can see that over time, the warmth shrinks and goes to the top of the water while there's colder water coming up that's going to upwell below it. So eventually what will happen is, as we get to the rest of spring into summer, these colder waters are going to come up and El Nino will be put to bed. And by late summer or by mid to late summer, early fall, we'll be talking La Nina again. So El Nino's still there, but it's certainly on the way out. Have yourself a good Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.